Blog Talk Radio.
Here at ACO Radio, American Communications Online, or any affiliated stations or websites are not responsible for what guest hosts or call-ins may say. All programming is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only.
Hello world, this is TJ Morris, and today we do Ascension Church Ohana. So thank you all you spiritual science metaphysicians that follow me and let my daughters know when I need to start my show. We're doing 6 p.m., that's 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, 4 Pacific, and Tommy's of our Ascension Church Ohana of Hawaii. This is our 8th anniversary, 8 years, but we're just really going to concentrate on Sunday about our Ascension Church Ohana, and we can break those words down. I don't see Tommy here yet, so he said he would be here today, so we'll see if he wants to come help me. It's hard to do things in life these days with all the controversy out there, but we will overcome. That's what we do. We've gotten through so many things, and we're going to talk about us as individuals and souls today. So I've got Souls.TJ Morris Club, publications, audiovisual tapes, and other workshop materials, which is a synthesis of ancient wisdom and new thought teachings and philosophies. So if you want to say we're theocrats, we believe in a higher power, as above, so below, whatever that is for you. Most of us say God. We're God-fearing people. We believe in something or some beings out there, and my groups are vast with various social media groups, and we have different topics. So we have those that like to do different interests, and I'm doing my best to support my friends online with today's social media. And so I've created Theresa J Morris Ministries because we're of a spiritual nature, and we've been for 8 years like an unincorporated association doing history and education, communication, metaphysics online. We've even taken up alienology, ufology, and phenomenology, which really is sort of a phenomenon in itself. So I'll give you the fact that this is a spiritual science, metaphysical, universal life church of our ministry. The church or the people is the way we figure it. So thank you guys that follow me and let my daughters know that you enjoy being uplifted when things are so tough out there. So, with everything around the world looking at how, what are we going to overcome? What are we going to change? Change is constant. So we'll be talking about change, and I've got a book here that Janet Carroll Lesson of Hawaii with our Ascension Center network over there. She runs ascensioncenter.net, a blog over there for us. And Tommy Hawksblood has been helping me with articles and bylaws as a pastor, universal life minister, and a metaphysician, and helping me in radio all these years. So I'm sort of surprised he's not here right now, unless he got his time mixed up, but I'll give him a call here in a few minutes. But Theresa J Morris Ministries, I was the original Ascension Center and the Psychic Awakening classes, and I'm holding the original book from back 89 to 93 after I was ordained in a gold pyramid in Houston, Texas. I was born in Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, raised in Houston, Texas, went to high school, James Madison High School, and then went to Alvin Junior College because I had children, so I had to go to a junior college. My husband went to University of Houston. He had 5 scholarships, but I started this foundation of self-improvement and well-being for emotional, mental, spiritual, physical well-being, and I'd like to emphasize our emotional, but we can say we are ascension masters in the way that we're all ascended in one way, being that we're essence. And we're here to remind you that faith-based on free will is your Ascension Center-based. We use the chakra system, but we're free agencies, and that's a God-given rite of passage. So we formed an aspect of management that we refer to, and that's the process of arranging resources primarily by people to carry out the organization's plans and organizing. So I'm going to help those that want to do their own brands, and we'll help administratively and support you in our platform here as a digital internet, what we call Church Online on Sundays. And our first session could be, we've got lessons 1 through 10 we're going to go through, so this is going to be our first lesson today. And what I do is I've got Janet Carroll Lesson and Tommy Hawksblood and me, we're celebrating 8 years together, and we all have different divisions. And I've got Ascension Church Ohana domain name and website up as org.org. So if you'd like to participate, you can go to my Patreon account because I'm building a spiritual science community, and it's patreon.com/Theresa J Morris. That's my name, Theresa Jeanette. I was born Theresa Jeanette Thurmond. And I was listening to some YouTubes and things. Everybody has their brand and their YouTube for online these days because it's just a part of our culture now, is everybody has an individual body, a container. And we deal more with art, culture, education, science, technology, engineering, and math. And my math was never very good. I mean, I loved math as far as in the beginning when I had good teachers in school. There was we just called it math, arithmetic. We would study arithmetic. We used to say reading, writing, and arithmetic with an R. So, I may jump all over the place in what we call time, but we return to learn now in today's Ascension age, what I call the Ascension age, about what we apparently, especially in America, didn't learn a lot about as Christians. I was born in a white container. That's what they called me, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. A WASP is for acronym. But, I don't know that I had a choice, but some people believe I did, that as a soul coming in. So we, in our group, is going to address souls. And this could be the greatest writing time, the Ascension age, okay, since we did the Emerald Tablets. So Janet asked me, and I called this Enchanted Development because I found it as like a secret time capsule, a little bit of some channeled work, whether you believe in channeling or not, your higher self, your oversoul, or we use teaching that we don't believe your human container in your brain is all you are, your mind and your brain. We believe in a higher essence as energy, and because I've died more than twice, but 2 times documented in a church or in a medical field with doctors, present witnesses, and my mother, and now she's passed over, but you just have to take my word for it. But I haven't written the book with all the basic stuff for the spiritual side of me because it wasn't time, and I did all this in the 70s, and I did it as a child too. But some people know of my stories based on the fact that I did write for UFO Digest in Canada. But our chapters for our Enchanted Development, I've got a real simple little $8 book. But it's time capsule, channeled automatic writing, high council, universal God, lady of the command, rebuilding the temple, ascension classes, ascension masters, cosmic beings, starseeds, cosmic door, ascension center, and divine energy. So this little book, like I said, Janet Carroll Lesson, God bless her soul, asked me to do this. She knew me as a psychic medium in Hawaii at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. It's the Hilton Hawaiian, is that what it was called, Hilton Hawaiian Village? It was downtown, and I was in the military, and I was staying at the Halikoa. Is that the way you say it? I'm trying to remember things that are way back in my past, folks. Halikoa, I believe, Hotel. next to the Hilton Hawaiian Village, right in Hawaii. Now, this is after I was ordained in Houston and had already gone to Europe and Africa, but I had been ordained, I guess, right before I went to the military, because Stephen Halpern and I were trying to remember when we met, and he was out promoting New Age music that he was making on his piano. Stephen Halpern's came back and been on this show, so you can go back and find that. But the Ascension Age that I teach was called by God. I had a meeting with Jesus. I had a come to Jesus moment. So he's one of our Ascension masters. So a lot of people know that there's various universes and various portals for our essence that we go through when we leave our body, mind, spirit on the planet, and we go back through these portals, or we get in these capsules that we can explain. And I like to use a friend of mine, Patrick Swayze, but his mom was Patsy Swayze, and Patrick had a wonderful soul lesson, even though he passed away like my daughter did, so they're no longer in my life in cancer. But there's thoughts and jobs and family and community and beliefs that we have here in these containers, and we're not really sure that all of it is ours. So we're learning to activate our psychic centers. And Patrick Swayze was very spiritual. A lot of people don't know that about him because they know him as a dancer and an actor. But I knew him in a different way, and got to sit at a skating rink in the mall in Houston. We had an indoor skating rink. And anyway, talking about things, and then lo and behold, he winds up in the movie Ghost, if y'all don't know who Patrick Swayze is, because he's on the other side now. But he's one of our light guides on the other side with my daughter, Ginger, Theresa Faye Parrish, and Ginger Bowers is what she was known as before she died. But I have a lot of my parents, both my mother and father left in 2011 to be on the other side, so I could do my work starting in 2012. But my husband became a very important part of me and what I do with the universal plan. And the Ascension Centers is all about understanding the power to make experience more intelligible by analyzing it in the light of valid and appropriate general concepts. So there's truth, and truth has a way of awakening sleepwalkers and clearing the conditioned cobwebs from our minds so we can remember things like reincarnation or how we reinvented ourselves or made a choice to visit this reality. And so a lot of people in the Ascension Age movement, meaning that we're evolving, we're transitioning, and we are learning to ascend as we give way to all these things that are shining forth with change. Now, some of this you're going to hear about the darkened side, or that which opposes light, so we shine forth so we can understand what dark is. And that the dark, we think of it as an opposing side to light. But without darkness, how would mankind recognize light, right? It's like that's the decision that was made for us as spirits. So before we came into this reality, so we serve the purpose of being with those above and those below. And you can definitely see how people work together. So we bring forth knowledge as we're instructed to do as Ascension Masters. So if you're not familiar, I'm going to tell you that the guides that I work with in the Internet, I'm a IT person now. I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to learn because it will help me as a baby boomer. They say 46 to 64, I heard on the Internet, but when I grew up, I was told it was in 20-year increments, but it was basically after my parents went through like World War II and the Korean War. My mom was born in 32, and so I address another interesting time in the ancient cultures with New Thought teachings, including UFOs, or what we called then flying saucers, unidentified flying objects, and extraterrestrials, aliens. But in my Ascension Center, we believe we're all